What's up, everybody? Welcome to That Wannabe Film Class, the show where we love movies. So each month we choose a theme and our members bring one movie that fits that theme for us to talk about. Maybe it's a movie they love. Maybe it's a movie they've been dying to see. Maybe it's a movie they just find interesting. I'm Ben Bellevue, and I am joined by the villain vixen, the super villain seducer, the damsel who may or may not be in distress, but it's okay because she's handling it, Chloe Naylor.
Sure am. I love it. It's great.
It's wordy. I want to see if I can add more. Just like,
okay.
By the end of this, we have a 3-minute long segment of me just giving you different titles.
I would not be opposed to that. Thank you
You'll
very
finally
much.
actually be Daenerys Targaryen, maybe without the burning things at the end of.
No,
yeah.
we'll just ignore that part. But yes, everything else, sure. Yeah.
Season 8 didn't happen. There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, exactly.
This month, we're talking about our favorite movies of all time. We kicked it off with Transformers, which technically we discussed in April, and we technically said it was a one-off chaos episode, but then we decided to make this whole month an extra long favorite movie month because it's our show and we can do whatever we want. So this is now the second episode of the favorite movie month, but technically the first episode in the month. It doesn't matter. Time is relative. Nothing exists.
Nothing matters anymore.
It's true.
Yeah. We
inch further and further into the abyss with every passing moment.
We sure do. Isn't it great?
I'm kind of sad that emo music wasn't at its peak when all this happened. It was like 15 years too early. Now this is happening and we're like, here's our pop songs. And it's like, okay, well, like they slap, but is this what we need right now?
Maybe. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe we need that beat stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the only solace we have left. Okay. Fair.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Chloe, how are you doing right now? Today, this week, overall, generally. It's almost your birthday.
It is almost my birthday. We're about like a little less than 2 weeks away now. Yay.
Congratulations. Does that make you a Taurus?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. A lot of your friend group is Tauruses then.
I've noticed that. Like Molly and Katie's birthday are both this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Although I think it's just them two that are Tauruses.
I still a fair amount. Like that's like one of your core squad of friends.
That's true.
Three of the people in that group are Tauruses.
Love to see it. The bull squad, because we're full of bullshit. Ha ha.
Comedy.
She
has jokes.
God. Sometimes.
They would make you think she doesn't like herself. And yet she's obnoxiously confident.
I absolutely am. We had this conversation earlier. It was great.
We did. Mm-hmm.
I'm the best.
This week, we're talking about Little Women, which is my pick for one of my two favorite movies that we'll be talking about this month because it's so good. The 2019 version of Little Women, to be clear, because there's many of them. That will be a trivia question for later in this episode. Have fun with that.
Oh, God. Okay.
But yeah, we're talking Little Women, the 2019 version, which has quickly cemented itself as one of my favorite movies of all time. I adore it. And Chloe, this is your first time seeing it. So like, what was your impression of this movie and also just like the property of Little Women before this? Had you seen other movies? Had you read the books? Did you know anything?
Knew nothing about it.
Fantastic.
Absolutely nothing. So this was fun.
Great. Are you familiar with like period piece stuff, or does that tend not to be the things you watch?
It's like I don't, but when I do watch them, I'm like, I love this shit. Why don't I watch it more? And then I don't because I'm too busy watching stupid sci-fi blockbusters. Yeah,
I feel like period pieces often fall into that where like I don't know anyone who's like, oh man, my favorite, or at least not anyone our age, maybe like people in their 50s. But I don't know anyone our age who's like, oh man, period pieces are our favorite thing. And like, to be fair, there's bad period pieces out there and there's like very Oscar baity period pieces out there. So maybe we're just skewed by that. But I think there's a lot of good ones too. Like Emma is really good. That just came out. I love this movie, obviously. Atonement's fantastic. Downton Abbey was a great TV show. Like, period stories are fun.
They are.
Yeah. Great Gatsby, still one of the best books ever written.
That's true. I really like Great Gatsby.
That's so good.
It's really good.
We were hoping to have our friend Belinda on this episode, but she was unfortunately not able to make it because she's working, a busy woman with a busy real career. But she wanted me to just say the things she would say because we tend to have similar opinions on stuff. At least we have similar opinions when we like something. I feel like she likes a lot of things I don't like. But when we like the same things, we have fairly similar opinions about it.
Okay.
And The Great Gatsby is one of those things because that's her favorite book. So Belinda, if you're listening to this, I'm giving you your first opinion shout out right now, which is The Great Gatsby fucking slaps.
Hell yes, it does.
Hell yes, it does. Before we dive into what's going on in this movie, though, we have to dive into the people who put it together, of course, as we always do. If you can't tell, I'm very tired, so I am not focused whatsoever.
Totally fine.
Life marches on towards, I already made this joke. God fucking damn it. Whatever. It's okay. We're fine. It's fine. This is fine.
Is it? Are you okay?
You know, who can say?
That's fair. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie was made by, of course, the writing, directing extraordinaire for her second solo feature film ever, Greta Gerwig. Now, Greta Gerwig is, of course, known for directing Lady Bird, as well as a lot of acting work. Chloe, have you seen Lady Bird? Do you know anything about Greta Gerwig?
Yes, I've seen Lady Bird. I don't think I know much about Greta.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on Lady Bird? Did you like it?
It's okay.
Yeah. It was really, I definitely enjoyed it a lot when I watched it. It wasn't a movie that stuck with me, but I'm curious, like, with how much I love Little Women, to see if I will love it more when I go back to it.
Yeah.
But it's a super well received movie. It had, I think, a perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes for a while.
Makes sense. It was
and then someone dragged it down to like 99 or 98 or something. I don't know.
Because people are stupid. Can't let.
That is true.
Perfect. Yeah.
Greta Gerwig wanted to pursue playwriting, but turned to acting when she didn't get into playwriting master's programs. So I'm assuming when she was like 23, 24-ish, maybe 22. Who fucking knows? She co-wrote a movie called Hannah Takes the Stairs with Joe Swanberg, and then co-wrote and co-directed with Swanberg on Nights and Weekends. That was her feature directorial debut. That was in like the mid to late 2000s. These movies established her in the mumblecore scene. And what mumblecore is, besides just a very stupid name, is kind of like, it's I don't know perfectly how to describe mumblecore. I've tried to get a grasp on it. You can kind of tell when you see it, but it's kind of like, I don't know if it's required to be low budget, but the ones I've seen often are low budget. Like low budget, a bunch of characters kind of just like talking a lot more naturalistically. A lot of times they rely on improv for conversations over actual scripted dialogue. And it tends to be a lot of like talking in circles, because most scripts say, oh, each piece of dialogue needs to move the story forward. But people don't talk like that. So mumblecore is more of like, you can just vamp about nothing for a minute if you want to, because that's what happens in life.
Yeah.
Like that. So she was a big deal in that scene. And she also describes this time in her life as miserable.
Oh.
Yeah, fun, right?
Perfect. Okay, real great.
She was also acting in these movies that she was in. She was establishing herself as an actress. She starred in Noah Baumbach's Greenberg, and then starred and co-wrote with Noah Baumbach for Frances Ha. She also started dating Noah Baumbach around the end of Greenberg. He left his wife for her, I think.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Is that essentially the plot that he put into Marriage Story? Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fun, right?
Look at that.
Yep.
Sure.
She was cast in the spinoff of How I Met Your Mother, How I Met Your Dad, in the lead role. But it didn't go past a pilot.
Okay. Oh god.
And that is the funniest thing to me, and it's something that I've seen a couple times when we've like been researching people and like their career trajectories. Just imagine if something had worked out for them that probably seemed good at the time. Like for her, it was probably like, oh man, like I can be a lead in a TV show that's a spinoff of one of the most successful sitcoms of the modern era. Like, that's a great gig. But because she didn't get that role, she was able to become the Greta Gerwig we know today.
Right.
The acclaimed director of such movies as Lady Bird and now Little Women. Her massive success was with Lady Bird, of course. And from there, she went on to direct this movie. She was already hired to write this when she was working on Lady Bird, but she was not slated to be the director. And it was only the success of Lady Bird where she was like, hey, you should give me this movie. And they did. And here we are. Her style, her stories tend to be based in her own life. She describes it as starting with myself, and then pretty quickly they spin out into their own orbit. She doesn't allow much line improv, which is interesting because like she came from mumblecore, which is a lot of improv based work, but she doesn't allow much line improv in at least Lady Bird and in Little Women. It's possible that's also the case for like Frances Ha, because she was one of the writers for it. Don't know. She is described as an actor's director, which makes sense seeing as she came from acting. So she's very focused on like the performance and what the actors are feeling. And her films have a duality of looking back on things with the warmth of memory, but also displaying things as they are. That's not my description, of course. It's a description that a journalist said that I found on Wikipedia. However, I think it's very accurate. There's this weird sense of like, I think it's like distinct in Lady Bird because there's the two time eras, but even in, or not Lady Bird, in Little Women, because there's the two time eras, but even in Lady Bird, you kind of have that sense of like, this is very naturalist looking, but also kind of like fairy tale-esque.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. The movie is, of course, based on the book by Louisa May Alcott. Chloe, do you know anything about Louisa May Alcott?
I'm reaching deep into my brain to remember anything that I learned in school. My brain is failing me.
It's okay. I knew nothing about her from school either. I only know a lot of what I know about Louisa May Alcott comes from Little Women because a lot of this movie is based on her life loosely. Right. So like she is Jo, and she, just like Jo, she wrote spy and action stories under a pen name to support her family. Her older sister died, or her younger sister died, and her older sister got married. And that's kind of when she thought of her childhood as like dying. And she obviously in the movie and in the book, she had Alcott, in the book and in the movie, Alcott married Jo off, but Alcott never did. And it was because she was definitely gay. She didn't know she was gay. Yeah. She didn't have the words for it. But there's, she was quoted as saying to someone once that it's weird. She thinks she's like a man born into a woman's body because she's never been attracted to a man, but she's been attracted to like 20 women.
Nice.
And I'm like, right. So you're gay.
Yes. Just didn't know it.
But, and we see a lot of that life woven into this movie, even in ways that she didn't originally in her book. So like we see that discrepancy of, we'll get to it eventually, obviously, but like we see that discrepancy of Jo selling her character into marriage and Jo writing Little Women, which isn't what she writes in the original book, I don't think. But in this one, it's just like, it's a much more one-to-one, like Jo is Louisa May Alcott. The book she is writing is Little Women. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The family home in the book and in this movie is the family home that Louisa May Alcott grew up in. The one they shot in, for the most part, was a recreation of it because they didn't want to like ruin the house in any way while filming in it. But it is really like a one-to-one with her life in a lot of ways. She was also, and her entire family were abolitionists and feminists.
Nice.
Notably, she and her family served as part of the Underground Railroad. So that's cool.
Shout out.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I think it's also like a cool thing to note because I know when I watched this movie with my family, my aunt was like very familiar with the old Little Woman stories. And she was like, oh man, they made it like so modern. And I'm like, I don't think they did. I know a lot of the lines came from actual books that Louisa May Alcott wrote, if not Little Women itself, like other books she wrote. So the dialogue isn't like modernized for the most part. And also just like the goodness of these characters isn't inaccurate, it seems like, to the goodness of Louisa May Alcott's family. Like, we didn't force in like, oh, they're against slavery because we don't want to have characters that support slavery in our 21st century story. It's like, no, like these characters genuinely did not support slavery. And Louisa May Alcott's family genuinely didn't support slavery, which is cool. It's cool to see that, like, I'm talking a lot about all these people, but it's cool. Yeah, it's my point.
It is.
The movie is produced by Amy Pascal. She's best known as the producer of every Spider-Man movie to ever exist. Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, 3, Amazings, Venom, which will make you happy, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
She also produced Little Women 1994, I discovered. So she seems to be very attached to making this property in the way she wants it made.
Okay.
And she was the head of Sony Films from 2006 to 2015 before starting her own company, Pascal Pictures. The cast is incredibly stacked. It is
oh my God,
alarming.
Yeah.
We, of course, have Saoirse Ronan as our star, Jo March. She was born to undocumented immigrants, but moved back to Ireland pretty soon after her birth. She auditioned for the role of Luna Lovegood and didn't get it. She got her big break from attending a casting call for Atonement, which I just mentioned because it's a period piece and it's quite good. Mm-hmm. That role got her a BAFTA, Golden Globe, and Oscar nomination for supporting actress, making her the 7th youngest Oscar nominee in the category.
Nice.
Right up there with Haley Steinfeld.
Shout out.
Which is just something I like to remind people that Haley Steinfeld is one of the youngest actresses to ever get a supporting actress nomination.
Wild.
Because I feel like people forget that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, the singer, the Bumblebee girl. And I'm like, that girl was like an acting phenomenon when she came on the scene. And then she just started doing like more youth-oriented stuff. And everyone was like, oh yeah, like her. And I'm like, true.
Yeah, but like what she did. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Other notable roles for Saoirse Ronan include Hannah and The Way Back in her early years. And then she moved on to more adult performances as she, grew up, where she was in The Grand Budapest Hotel and she was in Brooklyn. And of course, she was Ladybird in Lady Bird. She was also the Galway Girl in the music video for Ed Sheeran's Galway Girl.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Right alongside her, we have Florence Pugh as Amy March. She gained recognition for Lady Macbeth, a movie that came out in, I believe, 2018, maybe 2017. And then really her career just skyrocketed in 2019. Like she went from a nobody to a somebody very fast.
True.
Starting it off with Fighting With My Family, then doing Midsummer, and then doing Little Women. Also just very diverse movies.
Oh, yeah. Those are all very different movies.
Yeah, big time. We have Emma Watson as Meg March. Everyone knows who Emma Watson is. She's Hermione in Harry Potter. She's also been in Percy Being a Wallflower, The Bling Ring, Beauty and the Beast. Should she have been in Beauty and the Beast? Probably not. We have Eliza Scanlon as Beth March. She started with a role in an Australian soap opera. She is Australian. And she gained recognition for her role in Sharp Objects, the limited series with Amy Adams. And now she is here as Beth.
She looked familiar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I haven't seen Sharp Objects. Is it good?
I don't remember. Actually, you know what?
I feel like that's an insult to it then.
No, because I got it mixed up with a different one. I got it mixed up with, what the fuck's it called? Big Little Lies. No. She looks like somebody else in that.
Catherine Newton?
I think so. Yeah.
The girl from Detective Pikachu?
Now we're saying so many names and my brain is fried.
Okay, so you know Detective Pikachu?
Yes, she's not Pikachu.
You know the reporter girl?
Yeah.
Is that the girl you're thinking of from Big Little Lies?
I don't know.
The daughter of Reese Witherspoon?
Oh, maybe that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just thinking of a different show entirely, and I always just get Sharp Objects and Big Little Lies mixed up because they're both like
this is going swimmingly.
It's going very well. Anyways, I need to watch Sharp Objects. That's what I needed.
Okay. Laura Dern plays Marmee March. Laura Dern, daughter of Bruce Dern and Diane Ladd, not actors you might be super familiar with in terms of like their names, but you'll probably recognize at least one of them. They're both quite successful actors. She definitely comes from like Hollywood prominence. Yeah. She rose to prominence with her roles in Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart, but I would say like her defining recognition came with Jurassic Park, which is definitely the thing I knew her for the longest time. She has recently had what people have titled the Dernaissance.
Okay.
Where she's come back and been in a lot of things. She was in Wild, the Reese Witherspoon movie. She's been in Big Little Lies. She got an Oscar for Marriage Story. She was in The Last Jedi. And she just keeps going. The hits do not stop.
True.
And I'm very happy. She's great. She's fantastic.
Yeah. I love her.
She was also the woman that Ellen in the TV show Ellen, like the sitcom that she was in, discovered her sexuality with, and that was like Ellen's coming out episode.
Oh.
So like Laura Dern was significant in the rise of Ellen as a gay icon.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Ellen also, for listeners, awful person.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Not great.
Everything I've heard about her, not good.
Not great. She seems like not a great person to work with.
Yeah. It's like an open secret in Hollywood that she is mean.
Yikes.
But still, that was significant for like representations. That's cool.
I mean, yeah.
Next up, we have Timothée Chalamet as Laurie. Timothée.
Oh, Timothy.
Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet, he didn't pop on the scene as fast as Florence Pugh, but I feel like he's just like arrived.
And suddenly he's everywhere, and I can't get away from him. He's
everywhere.
Oh my God, we're both on TikTok. We see how much of Timothée Chalamet there is.
The weird thing is, realistically, he's not in that many movies.
No.
Like, he was in Call Me By Your Name, which is what really gave him like his prominence. That's where everyone was like, oh, like this guy. And then he was in Beautiful Boy. I don't know that many people who watched Beautiful Boy outside of like my film nerd friends, and even they don't talk about it. And then he was in this. Like, he's been in a couple other movies. I'm not saying he hasn't been. Oh, and he was in Lady Bird, but he was a side character in Lady Bird.
Right.
Like, he hasn't been a major starring force in a movie outside of like a major successful movie, at least outside of Call Me By Your Name, until this.
I don't know. Skinny white boy. Girls go crazy for that.
Girls do go crazy for that. They're very in love with him.
Yeah, I know.
We all know.
I'm very tired. Yes.
He comes from an arts family. He has a filmmaker uncle and a producer/writer aunt. He studied at a performing arts school for high school in New York, where he grew up. His early work was in recurring TV roles and then a role in Interstellar. Interstellar notably was not a breakout for him. He was kind of like expecting, oh, I'm in Interstellar. I'm on a Chris Nolan film. You're trying to figure out who he is, isn't he?
Yes.
Aren't you? Matthew McConaughey's son.
Oh, so he's at the very big. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. He grows up to be Casey Affleck. Ew.
Gross. Disgusting. Not his fault, though. Not his fault.
No, not his fault, but I'm sorry, dude.
I also haven't seen Interstellar. Did not know Casey Affleck was in that. Don't like that he is.
No, it's okay. He's not super important in the movie, but
I've heard a rumor that his character, like the Timothée Chalamet incarnation, the young version of him, was going to be around more and in more of the movie. And then those scenes got cut and Timothée Chalamet was sad.
Yeah. That sucks.
Which, like, I get. If you're in a Christopher Nolan movie and you haven't had your big break and then your scenes get cut, like, I get.
That I would be upset too. That's pretty upsetting.
Yeah, and it's not to say that he was mad. He was just like, yeah, I was like sad about it. Like oh, that's reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
It was true too. Like, it wasn't a breakout for him. He didn't get any role he wanted. He wasn't a major force after Interstellar. But then he gets Call Me By Your Name, does become a major force, does Lady Bird, does Beautiful Boy, of course, does Little Women, and he has upcoming movies, The French Dispatch with Wes Anderson and Dune. Those photos just came out. Everyone lost their mind.
Of course they did.
Do you know anything about Dune? I don't.
I just know that the original is a movie that my dad loves.
Interesting.
And I know, like, the movie is like 5 hours long or whatever. Incredibly long. And me and my mom would always complain that once he put it on, it was on TV all day.
Disgusting.
Yeah. But I'm curious about this new one.
Yeah, me too.
Really
the cast for that is also quite stacked.
Yeah, the fucking director, dude. My favorite guy.
That's
homie.
True. Also that.
Yeah. So it's like, I think I have to watch it, so.
We have Tracy Letts as Mr. Dashwood, the publisher. He is an acclaimed actor and writer in film and TV. Notably, he wrote August Osage County, and he was in Lady Bird as Saoirse Ronan's dad. Yeah, did not recognize him. I also Googled that to be like, wait, really? And I get why I didn't realize that. They do not look similar.
No.
In Lady Bird, he's got like a big beard.
Right.
He really throws it off.
Really does. That's interesting.
We have Bob Odenkirk, of course, as Papa March.
Shout
he is from
out.
Illinois and honed
Yes.
his comedy writing at Southern Illinois University, then went on to Second City and Improv Olympics in Chicago.
This is why you brought him up.
Yeah. Well, I brought him up because he's in this movie and deserves to be mentioned.
But you brought up the comedy part because I don't know the comedy.
Oh, yeah, on Twitter,
Chicago.
yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I knew he's from town, like 20 minutes from my house. Oh.
That's super cool.
Yeah. I knew that
Nice.
because I was looking him up for Better Call Saul. Love him in that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
He was hired as a writer at SNL, where he was uncertain of his writing ability, but he worked with Conan O'Brien a lot. They did a lot of things. Conan O'Brien, of course, very funny.
Mhm.
He went on to create a show called Mr. Show with Bob and David alongside, oh God, why can't I think of his name right now? David something. He's in Arrested Development as Tobias Funke. And I cannot think of his last name right now. Thank you.
Cross?
But he created what?
David Cross? David Cross?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
It was with David Cross. It was a sketch comedy show. It ran for 4 seasons. It was had a strong cult following, strong critical reception, but it was on HBO, so it just didn't like take off super well because it was the early stages of HBO.
Okay.
He then gained big recognition, of course, for playing Saul in Breaking Bad and then playing Saul again in Better Call Saul, a show I still need to watch.
Please do. It's so good.
I will. I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
His career since being Saul has really taken off. He's been in The Disaster Artist. He's been in The Post. He was, of course, in Incredibles 2, and he was in Long Shot.
Oh, yeah.
Is it just clicking for you?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Did you not realize that?
Not until right now. Like, oh,
Literally
yeah,
the second I heard his voice, I was like, I know who you are.
I just associate him so much with Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I'm like, oh. I also forget.
But see, the thing is, his
Incredibles 2
voice
a thing.
sounds, that's fair. You should. But his voice sounds
I
so
do.
much like Saul that just, and like the way he talks is such a Saul way of talking
Oh,
that he's
yeah.
like, I'm going to pitch you on this. And I was like, okay, you're Saul Goodman.
See, okay, it makes sense now that I remember the movie. Thank you for reminding me that this movie exists.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, okay. I know. I'm going to forget about it now.
Good. And he was in Long Shot, which is a very underrated rom-com starring Charlize Theron and Seth. I can't think of his name right now. Wow, my brain is not firing at all. We literally just talked about him. Chloe, what's wrong with me today?
What? I don't know. I think both of us, our brains are just fried. We're just too tired.
Yeah, we're just giving up. We're broken. We're
Gosh, what
defeated.
did you say the movie
At least I
was
remember
called?
Charlize Theron's name. I'm not sure I'm saying
That's
her name
true. What
right.
movie was it?
Seth Rogen. There we go.
Oh
I
my
got it.
God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I
Okay.
told you we just talked about him.
I know.
I hope Clark doesn't listen to this. He's gonna make fun of me. Anyway, we also have James Norton as John Brooke. He primarily acts in British television. He's known for a role in the War and Peace series. He's also been in an episode of Doctor Who and an episode of Black Mirror. We have, I'm probably going to butcher his name, Louis Garrel as Professor Bear. He is a French actor and director. He's basically French film royalty. I don't know who these people he's related to are, but he's related to a lot of people in French film industry. So like,
Interesting.
yeah, a lot of people.
Okay.
He also was in Jean-Luc Godard's Redoubtable in 2017. Jean-Luc Godard is one of the most notable figures in the French New Wave movement of the 1950s, which was like this big thing in French film that is like one of the most talked about and taught aspects of filmmaking, especially early filmmaking in film school. I don't like Jean-Luc Godard's movies that I've seen that much. To be fair, I've only seen one. It's Breathless, but it is his most famous. But definitely thought Jean-Luc Godard was dead. Very surprised he's still alive.
Okay.
I saw that he was in a 2017 Jean-Luc Godard movie, and my first thought was, is there a second Jean-Luc Godard? And no, he's just alive, apparently.
Same dude.
Yeah.
All right.
I just always assumed directors from the 50s are going to be dead by now, or at least retired.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Jean-Luc Godard was fucking 85 years old making this goddamn Redoubtable movie. He does not stop.
Just keeps on chugging along.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is also best known for his starring role in something called The Dreamers. I don't know what that is, but it's a thing apparently. And he was in it. We have Chris Cooper as Mr. Lawrence. He's been in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he played Norman Osborn. He's been in Adaptation. He's been in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. He's been in American Beauty and October Sky as Jake Gyllenhaal's dad.
Shout out.
That's right. We can connect everything to your love of Jake Gyllenhaal.
We really can. Oh my gosh.
And finally, rounding out our main cast, of course, we have the effervescent, the eponymous, the great Meryl fucking Streep as Aunt March.
She's there. Hell yeah.
She is there. Meryl Streep has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no point in my existence that I haven't known who Meryl Streep was.
No.
Even if I wasn't like a fan of her, I just knew she existed. You know?
Right. Be very weird
Yeah.
if somebody didn't.
Many consider her to be like the greatest actress of her generation, and some people call her the greatest actress alive, which is high praise.
Oh,
Not sure I can argue with it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, she is second cousin 7 times removed of William Penn, the founder of Pennsylvania. And by founder, of course, I mean the guy who got the name put on it. It was imperialized by the Europeans.
Of course.
There were already people there. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
I just want to clarify for listeners that I don't actually think the white man found Pennsylvania.
No.
No.
God, no.
Her interest in serious theater came after performing in a role at Vassar College. Up until that point, she hadn't really thought about it. A professor said, I don't think anyone taught Meryl acting. She taught herself. She got a master's in the fine arts at Yale in acting, where she heavily overworked herself to the point of developing ulcers.
Oh, God.
Yeah. She performed in 12 different plays a year and was a waitress and a typist to make money while in grad school.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I've seen friends whose time is consumed being in one production in a semester.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine doing 12.
No.
She started in plays, but De Niro's performance in Taxi Driver had a profound impact on her, and she was like, that's the kind of actor I want to be. So she became more interested in working in film. Her first feature film was opposite Jane Fonda in Julia. And then she really broke into the mainstream like success with The Deer Hunter and Kramer versus Kramer. In Kramer versus Kramer, she also fought to make her character less evil and more representative of women with careers and families to balance.
Okay.
Even from the beginning of her career, really an icon.
Truly.
She's also known for Sophie's Choice, Mamma Mia, The Devil Wears Prada, August Osage County, Adaptation, The Iron Lady, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Big Little Lies, and many more. She's the godmother of Billy Lord.
Oh, look at that.
Apparently, she and Carrie Fisher were quite close, which honestly, I get. That makes sense.
It does make sense.
I see
That's
it.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is cute. Also, one of the things I love about Meryl Streep is like, not in terms of her. Like, I mean, there are many things I love about her in terms of her, but most actors, when I click on the Wikipedia page, it's like, hey, here's their like basic biography. Occasionally, if it's a big enough actor, they're like, hey, here's like a decade by decade breakdown of their history and career. For Meryl Streep, it's like, hey, here's a decade by decade breakdown, but also here's a link to an entire other page for her in the 2000s specifically.
My God.
Now that is celebrity.
Yeah.
That is peak fame.
Love it. Love to
And like I said, she has been called the greatest living actress by Vanity Fair. And, again, don't know if I can argue with that.
No.
That's the crew. But what we're here to talk about is Little Women itself. Chloe. Tell me about this movie.
Oh, man. There are women and they are tiny.
Are they?
No.
They're just petite, small.
They're little.
Even when they're kids, they aren't that little because we don't see them being played by actual kids.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
That threw me off the first time I watched this movie.
Yeah, they're all the same. Anyways, so one by one we meet all of the March sisters. Jo is submitting a piece at a publishing company, and for a second it seemed like the editor was just laughing at it, wouldn't take it, but he does, fortunately, with some edits though, and without her name attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Amy is in Paris with her Aunt Marge, taking painting lessons and looking for a husband, and runs into Mr. Timothy Chalamet with Laurie.
Yep.
Who's turned out by
fun
Jo.
fact.
Oh yeah.
Greta Gerwig had to fight. So when you first see Laurie, you know how there's that like slow motion shot of him walking?
Mm-hmm.
Greta Gerwig had to fight for that slow motion shot because everyone was like, why? Like, this is weird. Like, it doesn't make sense. And she was like, no, like, we need to see him the way Amy sees him. He's the object.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Finally.
Greta. Yes.
Objectifying men for once. Thank you, Greta Gerwig.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So Amy invites him to a New Year's party. He turns up drunk and just embarrasses her. So, of course, as men do, just are the worst. And then Meg is taking care of her kids, and Beth is he's just vibing.
Mm-hmm. Also, fun fact.
What's up?
Meg. A lot of people, based on an interview with Greta Gerwig, I haven't read Little Women, so I can't say specifically like what people often take from the book. But Greta Gerwig said that she feels like a lot of people view Meg's story as kind of primarily the past storyline. So they view it as like about her getting married. And when she was rereading the book to write this movie, she was like, oh, there's all this like rich detail and like struggles in her life that comes after the wedding that kind of just gets forgotten. So I think it's really cool how I think the timeline change that they did in this movie is fucking brilliant. Mm-hmm. And that's just going to be like a consistent thing that I talk about because I think it's amazing. Yeah. And that's one of the really cool ways of exploring it, because by doing that, like jumping back and forth, you have to focus more on Meg's story in the quote unquote present day and not just on the storyline of her getting married, which is cool. It's cool to see that like the love story, like the love story section, the one where it's just like, oh, she gets married and that's her life, doesn't just end all like happy and blissful.
Yeah.
And there's still strife. Anyway, we see Beth playing piano.
Yes, he is playing piano.
Mm-hmm.
Just vibing. See, Jo attends a play in the after party, dances there. We flash back to... It's great. 7 years earlier, where Meg and Jo are going to a party, and this is where Jo meets Laurie. The two dance the night away.
Which is also adorable.
It is pretty cute, honestly.
That scene is so cute.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
I know. I want to go to parties and dance like that.
It looks so fun.
Yeah. They're just having a good time.
I know you can go to that house in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. I saw someone on TikTok do it, and I really want to. This is my life goal, is to go back to Massachusetts and go to all the hot spots from this movie.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can totally go outside right now and hop on a plane. It's fine. Nothing would prevent that.
We can. Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. God. So, until Meg hurts her ankle and they have to leave early, Laurie brings them home since he lives right next door. That's convenient. Let's see. Back in the present, Frederick gives Jo some Shakespeare books and reads her writing for her, gives her some constructive criticism just by saying he just doesn't like it.
She takes it very poorly.
Does not take it well at all. No. So she just leaves. She's like, we're not friends anymore.
I love when she's trying to like call him out and she's like, the world will forget you ever even lived. And he's like, I mean, yeah.
He's like, yeah, duh.
She's like, probably.
Just really funny, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love him.
He's
Like
great.
that scene in and of itself was enough when he's just like, I'm sure they will. I'm like, you are good. Look at you, not driven by ego.
Exactly. Thank God. Oh
Also,
my gosh.
when they do it a couple times in this movie, but when they do the scenes of the letters being read and it cuts to the actual actor saying the letters in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Never seen that in a movie before. I'm sure
really
it's probably
cool.
happened at some point, but I've never seen it that I can remember. And it's fucking cool. I love that. That's so smart.
Absolutely. Gosh. Speaking of letters, Jo gets a letter from home saying that Beth's sickness is getting worse, so she rushes off back home. Let's see, on the train, she falls asleep and dreams of Christmas. Basically, one Christmas morning, the girls give up their breakfast to a poorer family. Laurie and his family sees this and gives them just a feast. Like, oh, they're so nice. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Later, Amy
Everyone's just nice in this.
I know. It's refreshing.
It's like it's emotional and at times heartbreaking. It's not like everything's just happy-go-lucky, but it's pain not driven by cruelty. And I love that. I
was like totally expecting the Lawrence family to just be like a bunch of like assholes.
Big dicks, yeah.
Like,
you're like, yeah. And I know that in past adaptations, I'm not super familiar with the Little Women story outside of this movie, but I know in past adaptations, I've heard people say that like Laurie's less likable because he comes across more as just like conniving to get into this family any way he can. But in this movie, they really make him a lot more complex and likable. Yeah. And it's the same thing with Amy. Like, Amy was always the disliked character, from what I understand, in every adaptation of Little Women. No one ever liked Amy. And this movie came along and was like, hey, no, Amy's kind of great. And she and Jo are kind of two sides of the same coin.
Right. It's nice. Yeah.
It is nice.
Speaking of Amy, she gets hit by her teacher for drawing him, just basically goofing off in class. I'm like, oh, I remember where this is taking place now. Okay. So she goes crying to the Lawrence family, and the rest of the family come get her, and they're welcomed into the house. They're told they can come by anytime. Jo to borrow books, Amy to see the paintings, Beth to play piano, and then Meg falls for the tutor. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I see this.
Wait, I want to see if I can remember the exact line that Amy says.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay, I don't. Oh God, fuck. I know she says I have lovely small feet. She's like crying. Fuck. She's like, I'm Amy, and Laurie's like, hello, Amy. And she's like, I'm Laurie. And she's like, I know, you helped my sister when she sprained her ankle. I would never sprain my ankle. I have lovely small feet. But I can never go home again because I'm in so much trouble.
She's great.
I love this movie so much.
I see. Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jo gets home. She finds out that no one has told Amy that about Beth being sick because Beth doesn't want Amy to ruin her trip and come home early.
Which, like, I get, but also, oof.
But, like, your sister's sick and dying.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yikes. Oh my gosh. Another flashback to the past shows the time Amy threw a fit because Jo wouldn't let her come with her and Meg and Laurie to the theater, so she burned the novel she was writing.
Yeah.
Yikes. She's a bit of a brat, but
yikes. Oh, she's a complete brat. Amy is a dick.
Not.
I enjoy her, but she's not nice.
No, not at all.
It's also like, that must suck to live in that time period where it's just like, oh, if this one copy of your work is gone, everything's gone.
It's just gone forever.
I'm so accustomed to the cloud and everything where it's like, if my computer breaks, I'm fine.
It's there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
God, I can't imagine.
God, yeah. So Jo, obviously incredibly upset, refused to even look at Amy until her and Laurie go ice skating the next day, and Amy almost drowns when chasing after them. So, okay, all right. All's good. Just need a near-death experience.
When you're Laurie and you almost get your future wife killed while you're hanging out with her older sister that you're in love with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's an intricate web they have here.
It's a very something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So back in the present, Lori finds Amy and apologizes how he's been acting, tells her not to marry rich boy Fred and to marry him instead. And she's like, first of all, fuck you. Basically, she's loved him her whole life, but refuses his offer because she feels like she's been second to Joe. God, that sucks.
And like mood.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty upsetting. You don't want to be the second choice.
Mm-mm. Especially to your sister.
To your sister. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. See, meanwhile, Beth goes and plays piano at the Lawrence house, and Mr. Lawrence sits on the stairs to listen. It's like really nice.
Yeah.
He later gives the piano to her because she reminds him of his late daughter.
Mm-hmm.
This is a terrible line that I have written down. She's like her in more ways than one because she contracts scarlet fever and also dies.
Oh, God. You're
so
not
sorry.
wrong.
I'm not wrong, but yeah. Sorry about that. Anyways, that's future spoilers. And because Amy is the only one that hasn't had the sickness, she needs to be sent away.
The sickness.
The sickness. Trademark. Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan's next film.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's he doing these days?
Didn't he just make that thing? He made that movie, the Split sequel, that Glass. That's what it was called.
Oh yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I heard it was not good.
I didn't see either one, so I don't know.
I also didn't like Split, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Cool. Anyways, great timing with Beth getting sick because around the same time, the girl's father, who's been away fighting in the Civil War, also gets sick, and then Marmee leaves to go visit him. So fun stuff. Disease.
We love it.
Ooh, not great. Fortunately, Christmas brings many miracles, including Beth recovering for a little bit and both of the parents returning home. So that's nice.
Hell yeah.
It's a nice day.
If you're just watching this for the first time, Papa March shows up and you're like, oh, fuck, Saul.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, shit, it's you. And then I'm like, oh, wow.
That was my exact reaction.
Yeah. I was like, I think I heard that you were in this, but I didn't know you were the dad. And now it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Cool. God. Back in the past on Meg's wedding day, Joe tries to convince her to run away, but Meg, insists that she's happy marrying John, the tutor guy. So I'm like, I get it. We found your love, whatever. Aunt Marge.
In between this, of course, Beth dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Also, imagine if the dad, so because we have the scene around Christmas when Beth miraculously survives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the parents come back. Imagine if they just if she had died. Imagine if she died that day and her parents got home 6 hours later. And her dad, who's just not seen her for a year?
Something like that.
Missed her entire.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah. I'm glad that didn't happen. That'd be horribly tragic.
But it's fine because Greta Gerwig just messed with the timeline. So right after experiencing her survival, we experience her death.
Yeah, it's fine.
Back to back.
Yeah. It's all right. They had their happy moment for a little bit.
They did.
The wedding. Yeah.
The back to back also is just really effective.
Yeah.
It's soul crushing.
Oh yeah, hey, she's effective. Fine. Hard cut. She's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Greta Gerwig in an interview was talking about that, and she's like, "Yeah, the problem with the book is you can't really fake out a death, or you can't really do a death build up twice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go narratively, you have Beth is sick, maybe she'll die, and then she survives, and it's cool, great.
Yeah.
And then you just do it again, and she's like, that doesn't really work.
No.
So it was a really cool way to kind of put them back to back, where the storyline is always established as Beth is sick in the future. Mm-hmm. She didn't recover, really. Right. And then building up to the happy moment and the death. Greta Gerwig also talked about it because a big thing with her splitting the timeline in this movie was she wanted to capture that feeling of like the romanticization of your childhood and like how we view it in this beautiful lens, but also death. Yeah. And how whenever someone dies, we always tend to say this thing where we're like, but we just saw them. We like, death feels weird to us. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really cool that she tried to capture that in this movie by being like, yeah, you see her survive. And then a second later, you see her die. And then a second after that, we go to the wedding you were talking about. And at the wedding, because in the past, Beth is there.
She's there.
The next image we see, like it cuts away from her death scene to Beth planting flowers outside for the wedding.
Yeah.
And it's so touched on that feeling of just like, but I just saw her.
Exactly.
She's still kind of here. It feels like she's still here.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. I like what she did there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. At the wedding, it's all happy. Aunt Marge announces her trip to Europe, but decides to take Amy instead of Joe. So that hurts Joe's feelings.
It does. I feel so bad for Joe.
I know.
Yeah.
It sucks for her. Yeah, and then after the wedding, Laurie confesses his feelings for Joe, who insists that she does not feel the same. So.
Yeah. That scene is so pretty.
Oh my god, I know.
That scene is gorgeous.
Gorgeous. But oof.
Also just like, we spend so much time talking about, is Timothée Chalamet hot? Is Timothée Chalamet not hot? I would just like to take a moment to talk about what really matters. Timothée Chalamet is a good actor.
Oh, yeah.
He is a very good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly
great.
So.
Yes. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Also, why don't people get married at their houses anymore? People always pay thousands of dollars for like wedding venues. And then I see all these movies set in the past where they're just getting married at their house. And like, it seems very cute. It seems charming.
They also have like
huge yards.
Huge yards. Yeah.
Yeah. There is that factor.
It's like,
but still, like
getting married at your house in like California, you know, where there's no yards.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah,
that'd be bad.
Right.
But I feel like I know people who have big yards. Why aren't they getting married there? You know, what's up? I had a cousin whose house was literally on a river. Like the house wasn't super nice, but they had a big yard backed up to a river. And I'm like, why didn't you just do it here? You literally got married on grass overlooking the water.
Yeah. Right there. Free real estate. I don't know, you know. Oh, man. Back to wedding planning.
Oh, God.
Didn't we have an episode where we talked about proposals? That's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We can talk about a movie someday where we talk about wedding planning.
Perfect.
We can talk about it right now. Chloe, what's your dream wedding?
I want to get married on a beach.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I actively don't.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's like, I think that's one of my top, like, I wouldn't mind getting married overlooking the beach, like on a grassy, more cliff overlooking beach area. But I wouldn't want to get married on the beach. I hate sand.
Why?
Yes, I know the reference.
Yeah, okay.
I know the reference. Yeah. But genuinely, I'm not a fan of sand.
That's
it gets
fair.
everywhere.
Yeah. Like, okay, I went to a beach wedding once and it was nice. I guess, yeah, I don't know if I would want it on the sand or just somewhere by the beach, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of venues, I think, in LA, at least, that are like overlooking the ocean, but not like my cousin's even, she was like overlooking the East Coast, like the Atlantic Ocean, but it wasn't beach. It was grass, cliff, water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole Pinterest board for this. It's so...
Sure, of course you do.
Of course. I think me and Ava talked about this at our wedding Pinterest boards. I love it.
She wants a forest wedding.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I want like a forest wedding, but with like a river or something running through it. Mm-hmm. So there's water. I like water.
Water's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I do also want water involved in my wedding.
You don't say, Miss Beach Wedding. You want water?
Water? It's crazy. Make for a lot of pretty pictures.
It does.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, back to Little Woman.
Yes.
Amy comes home from Europe with a sick Aunt Marge. Oh my gosh. And she's worried she turned down Laurie too quick and writes him a letter hoping it's not too late. She tells him that she turned down Fred's proposal, and they kiss, and they get married, and they make their way back home. That's nice for them.
It is. Wholesome.
Yeah. Joe starts writing the novel about all the girls' lives and sends the first chapters to Mr. Publishing Guy, who really isn't a fan, until his daughters find the chapters and demand to know how it ends.
And she's like, this shit's lit. And he's like, the fuck?
Like,
this is the exact dialogue in this 1800s period piece.
Exactly. They're like, it's lit. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we have attics nowadays? Like, we have attics, but like, they're these kind of like crappy storage attics. Yeah. Why don't we have these nice upstairs attics where like you can hang out and write your next great American novel while staying with your family, but with peace and quiet?
No.
What the fuck, man?
Right. I don't even know if my house now has an attic. I don't think that it does.
I'm not sure if this house has an attic. I know that my old house did. It was like, again, it was like crappy like open insulation attic, so you can store stuff, but you can't hang out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So was my last house, and now I'm just realizing I've lived in this house for like maybe 8 months now. Yeah.
You have no idea?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't, like, why wouldn't there be one, though? We have a roof.
Do we not?
There should be space between the ceiling and the roof, I think. I don't know architecture. I
don't know either. If there is an attic in my house, the door to it would probably be in my dad's room, and I don't go in there too often. So, but
after this podcast, I'm gonna go look to see if there's what would presumably be a door to an attic.
Me too. I'm curious.
Yeah, but like my old house had 2 attics. It had an attic in the garage and an attic in the house, and now this.
Nothing. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But anyway, in conclusion, I want the attic they have in their house where you can just like hang out with your friends and put on plays and write.
It's fun.
The next great American novel.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, the publishing guy hates how the book ends because the main character isn't married at the end. So Joe changed the ending so that she runs off after Frederick, who showed up at the March house on his way to California. And then everyone's like in the house like, oh, Joe, clearly you like him. Go after him. And then it's like, oh, reuniting at the train station. Cute. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that throughout the entire movie, the past, which is this like romanticized, I'm not sure romanticized is the right word, but you know, like the beauty of the past, the like warmth of childhood. Mm-hmm. The past is shot in warm tones and the present is shot in cool tones.
Yeah.
But when this scene is happening, her chasing after the professor is shot in warm tones, despite being the present, and her talking to the publisher is shot in cool tones. So it frames that scene as like not unreal, but disconnected in the way that the past is disconnected and yet also there.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
It is.
Also, you totally skipped over when Laurie comes back and he's just like casually drops my wife. And frankly, I'm offended because that was, I feel so bad for Joe.
Yeah, that was, like, I forgot. Yeah.
Like, I know that Laurie doesn't realize Joe's planning to confess her feelings to him. I realized that in Laurie's perspective, the last time he saw Joe was her saying, I can't love you. I've tried and I've failed. I get that. But he's just so casually like, yes, Amy, my wife.
My wife.
Yeah, my wife.
Yeah. I did forget to write that. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Also, we missed the iconic Joe speech about believing that women have like minds and souls and creativity, but also she's so fucking lonely.
Yes. It's a mood.
That was great. Yeah.
That is an incredible mood.
That's a dialogue not from the book, but from another Louisa May Alcott writing that Greta Gerwig took and put into this because she thought it was applicable.
Okay. Very nice.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So she goes after the professor.
Goes after him. They reunite at the train station. It's like, oh my God, I love you. Yes. Cool. So that's in the book now. She negotiates the copyright and royalties that she owns the right to the book. And then later, she's inherited Aunt March's house and decides to open it as a school where her and her sisters and Frederick all teach. And then the movie ends with Jo watching her book, Little Women, be printed. The end.
It didn't click with me fully until this viewing of it, which is my third time watching the movie.
Mhm.
I think I could kind of feel it, but my brain finally put the words to it when I was watching it this time. The way they shoot Jo waiting for her book to be published
Mhm.
is the way they shoot expectant fathers outside of the
Right.
window when babies are like being put out there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. Cute.
It really solidifies this idea of like Jo's story not being about love for a person or like becoming a wife or becoming a mother, but her story is about becoming an author, and that is as precious as any other story that can be told.
Right.
And it's great.
It's nice. Yeah, love it.
Chloe, before we move on to like general questions, do you have any other thoughts about things that happened in this movie? Anything you want to shout out?
It was great. I had a great time watching it.
Nice. I'm glad
This
you
is,
liked it.
A good movie to watch, and it was raining today. I'm like, this is the perfect movie for that.
Ooh, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect movie for that.
Yes.
I'm just going to go back to when we first see Laurie return with Amy, because there's a couple other moments I want to highlight that I think are fucking fantastic.
Okay.
When he's like, she calls me my lord. Laurie and Amy are fucking kinky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can feel it. I know for a fact. I will stake money on this.
100%.
Also, the reunion of Amy and Jo, name a tenser moment. Name a fucking tenser
You can't.
moment. You can't. Endgame fucking wishes.
Yeah, you're right.
Uh-huh. Also, okay, this is another detail that I didn't notice until my third time watching this movie. When Jo's writing her book, there's a scene when she's writing and she picks up her hand and she's like, oh man, like my hand's tired.
Mhm.
And then she starts writing with her other hand.
Oh my God.
I never noticed it, but she just casually switches hands and then keeps going.
Just casually ambidextrous.
I
okay,
love
sure.
it. I love the little details in this movie. It's so good.
That's
I
pretty
love
cool.
that the beginning of the movie has that like shot of the Little Women book with Louisa May Alcott, LM Alcott, and then it shows the exact same shot, but it says Joe March or J something March now. It's this movie's so good.
Yes.
The details are so good.
You're right.
So Chloe, what are your general thoughts about this movie? Like, you liked it. Are there things you liked specifically about it? What are your overall feelings on it? Give me the rundown.
Everyone in this movie is incredibly attractive. That
is true. That is very true.
Very true. Everybody is.
It is
so
alarming.
Pretty. It is incredibly alarming. Oh my gosh. And also, it makes me wish I could go outside and go to parties like that.
Yeah.
Specifically like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Or just hang out with like your neighbor who will fall in love with two of your siblings.
That'd be weird.
It would be weird.
Yeah.
Unless.
Would be weird.
It'd be weird, yeah.
It'd be weird.
Unless.
No. Nah.
But no, seriously, I do miss people desperately. And I really wish that I could just like casually dance with a new friend outside of a party.
Yeah. Wouldn't that
just
be nice?
because it's social interaction for once.
God.
This godforsaken reality.
Wouldn't give for that.
Right.
Dying.
Chloe, what are your 3 favorite scenes in this movie?
I briefly brought it up, but any dance scene. Period pieces and dancing. Okay, I remember like I love period pieces.
You'll really like Emma.
Ooh, okay.
That movie is practically a ballet.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, miss dancing with other people.
I understand that. Those are fun. Those are very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down 5. I'm trying to narrow it down now, but I'm going to start with one that I know is probably my favorite scene in this entire movie. The art room scene with Laurie and Amy is it's one of my favorite scenes in film.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love her speech about like the status of what she can and cannot strive for. I love that she owns marrying rich. I just feel like that's something that you often don't see in a lot of movies. It's like, oh, like this person married rich, like they're kind of a jerk, huh? And it's like, no, like if your economic standing is entirely based on who you marry, like,
right.
Yeah, like it's valid.
Uh-huh. I get it.
Some people pursue their careers over finding love, and we don't say like, oh, how they're vapid and money obsessed. Like, so what's wrong with Amy's great.
Yeah.
Also, Amy's whole like realization that she's not a great artist and just this feeling she has inside of like, I need to be great or nothing. I fucking understand. I understand. That cuts deep.
100%.
And then also Laurie's whole little like, the poets might disagree. Just the way Timothée Chalamet says that line. I don't know why, but I love it. I live for it. And what else? What else about that scene? There's so many good things about that scene. When he's like, you look beautiful. You are beautiful. I'm like, get it, Laurie.
Yeah, that was cute.
That was cute. And also because it's so clear, like the way Timothée Chalamet plays it. Again, I think Timothée Chalamet's performance in this movie is very good. The way he plays it, it feels like he's not trying to say a line. It feels like he's saying, you look beautiful instinctively. And the realization that he thinks she's beautiful is hitting him as he says it. And I'm like, God, that's good.
It's really good. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's a good shit.
Okay, Chloe, what is your second favorite scene?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember because I do like any of the Amy and Laurie scenes that they have. I think I like the one where he's like, don't marry Fred. And she's like,
and
fuck
she
you, basically.
tells him to fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it's in this scene, but I like a part. I think it's, she's like, if I can't be loved, then I'll at least to be respected or something like that.
That's the art room scene.
That's the art room scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that line, but I like the other scene too. So
I get that.
Say that. Yeah.
Yeah. As I was trying to figure out what my favorite scenes were, there was a point where I was just like, it's really any scene with Amy in it.
That's true.
Like, give me any Amy scene, especially adult Amy scene, and I will be here for it.
Absolutely.
My second favorite scene is when Jo is having her writing criticized by the professor. I find it, if it wasn't obvious from me getting like hyped about it when you were talking through the synopsis, I love how he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's like, no, like, I'm going to talk to you with a critical analysis because like, I think you're talented and deserve to be talked to with that level of respect.
Right.
And also, you're right. I am only a critic. I will never be a great writer. I don't have the talent you have. No one will remember me.
I will be forgotten. Yes. Like, who cares? Yeah.
He's like, we're all stories in the end and my story will fade. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know.
It's real good.
It is. 100%.
What is your third favorite scene?
The last, I want to say tracking shot, but I wasn't paying close enough attention. I couldn't tell if there were cuts or not, but I really like seeing everybody together. It's all happy. They get like the cake from Marmee and everybody's all like that.
That is really cute. Yeah.
It's adorable. I like happy moments like that.
I'm going to name mine and then I'm going to name two more because I love this movie so much and I can't decide. I can't do it, Chloe.
No, I get it. Go for it. Name just the whole movie. It's fine.
Okay. I love when they bring Laurie into their play club. When she's like doing the whole pitching, like, I think we should bring in Theodore Lawrence. Yeah. And then he pops out from behind the clothes and he's like, oh, haha, I'm honored to be in this. And I'm like, this is so sweet and cute and fun. And it's like, it's great to see Laurie really like be part of their chaos. Cause I think a lot of the scenes you don't see that. Just you see Laurie being like the kind of aloof, grumpy guy. Right. And like, I don't dislike that version of Laurie, but it's also cool to see that like, oh yes, their friendship makes a lot of sense. Like when they were kids, he was also a kid having fun with them. Yeah, and exactly. It really sells the dynamics with him and the entire cast of characters. Right. I also love the flashback beach scene. It's cute.
I had that on my list. It was one of them. If you said one of them. Yeah, but it was cute.
And also the present day beach scene, not for the scene itself. Like the scene itself is good. It's just not one of my favorites, but the visuals, the wide shot of Beth and Joe sitting there as like the wind is blowing the sand around them is fucking gorgeous. This movie is so pretty.
Really,
I
really
don't
pretty.
understand how it didn't get a cinematography nomination.
Oh, it didn't even get nominated. Ah.
I don't think it did. Unless I'm mistaken. No, it didn't. It didn't. It definitely didn't. I know because I disagreed with every cinematography nomination except for The Lighthouse.
Okay. What won? 1917?
I think, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Which, like, sure.
All
I still
right.
haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
I saw Ford versus Ferrari now, though. So I can officially say that I don't think Ford versus Ferrari deserved its nominations.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And the final scene that I love is when Marmee meets the man who lost his sons in the war.
Oh.
Just because, like, that's super depressing. And I think it's just this nice moment of like a reminder that people suffer a lot and have suffered a lot throughout history. And like, as much as this movie is like nice and sweet and like the characters are nice and sweet, there's also a lot of those reminders of like the 1800s were rough.
Yeah.
You lost people a lot.
Right.
Beth dies. Mr. Lawrence's daughter dies. This man loses two of his sons in a war that I'm not saying could have been avoided because like the South was being dicks, but
yeah,
the South could have just not been dicks.
But
yeah. This, of course, brings us to our next question. Chloe, who's your favorite character in this movie? I'm not going to say favorite non-protagonist because I feel like as great as Joe is, I think enough characters get enough screen time that there are valid reasons to choose any of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pick Amy. Because she is great.
She is great.
She is great. She's a brat when she's younger, but no, I really like her.
12.
She's yeah. It's weird when it's still Florence Pugh.
When it's Florence Pugh,
like,
yeah, but
she's supposed to be like 12, yeah.
Yeah, no, Amy's my favorite character too. I came out of this movie and I was like, I both feel like I identify as an Amy and also I am in love with Amy. I don't know what that says about myself.
Yeah.
But both.
I get it. That too. Yes, 100%. Oh my God.
My entire love for Florence Pugh is based entirely in my love for Amy. Like, also her cooking videos on Instagram, but the love was there from Amy and then Florence Pugh just cemented it more and more. I
get it. Yeah. I love her. I love her voice too.
Yeah. I love her. I love the way she carries herself. I love that she feels like a unique perspective. And it's also super cool because I know a lot of people love Amy from this movie. And I think it's really cool that Greta Gerwig was able to take a character that had been like universally disliked and viewed as the silly sister and turned her into this complex, interesting character without seemingly changing who she is at her core. Yeah. Also, it's wild because like if you opened this movie on the Amy scene in the park instead of on the Joe scene, it would have felt like Amy's movie.
100%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like they really, in a lot of ways, are co-leads. Like Joe's presented as the lead. A lot of the movie's about her. I understand that. Saoirse Ronan's the person whose face is on the DVD, but I feel like Amy is almost as much of a lead as Joe is.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I love that. Chloe, what do you think of the time jumping? Do you like it? Do you think it worked?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think it'd be I get more boring if it was just completely all linear. But
fans of the Little Women book and other movies are going to be upset with you.
Probably.
But no, I agree with you. I think the time jumping just consistently does something really amazing with this movie. I think like the characters are enjoyable, and I think I probably would have enjoyed this movie plenty regardless of the timeline changes, but it does capture that feeling of like childhood and like what you lose as you grow up and how those things interweave into your life. And it also just has really cool transitions. Like you get some really cool transitions, like when Joe's on the train and then it transitions to her laying on the couch with the window in the same location that the train window is. So it feels like a similar shot, even though it's a different location. Yeah. There's such cool transitions in this movie.
Really cool.
It's so well done.
That's what we talked about earlier with like Beth dying, and then immediately the next scene is her planting flowers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that's sweet. She's
And also, I think the love interests work a lot better because I know that in the way the book's originally formatted, you spend the first half of the book where Joe and Laurie are the love interests. Like they're the pairing. And then it's only the second half of the book, the future, quote unquote, or the present in this movie timeline where it's like, oh, now this Professor Bear guy's around. And oh, like now Laurie and Amy are a thing. And that,
yeah,
I know a lot of people didn't like those pairings in the past. So I feel like there is a level of like, it's jarring. And Greta Gerwig talked about that too, where she's like, the way we are, we want our character to end up with the guy we see first. So if you lead with Joe and Laurie, the audience will want Joe and Laurie. But if you lead with Amy and Laurie, even if we show the storyline in the past of Joe and Laurie being a thing, the audience will favor those pairings. They will favor the professor for Joe. They will favor Amy for Laurie.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. Worked out.
Yeah. It did work out. It worked out really well. Chloe, which character do you relate to in this movie?
Aspects of all of them, honestly. You know.
Do you have like one specifically that you would look at and be like, because I know a lot of people have done it where they're like, I'm a Meg, I'm a Beth, I'm a Joe, I'm an Amy. Which little woman are you?
Gosh. I had an answer earlier and I completely forgot it too.
Wow.
I know. Should have written it down and I completely forgot. I want to say Amy again because she's like, oh, she's had this crush on this boy this whole time. Just because, mood.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all I've really got.
Okay. That said, you are a hopeless romantic.
That's 100% true, yes.
So are you Meg?
Like that little bit of that too, Like, oh, I just want to get married and live with my life, my husband, all that fun, dandy stuff.
I feel like the two that I definitely wouldn't say you are Joe and Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see the Amy Meg hybrid though.
Definitely. No.
Yeah.
I think Beth is too pure and
I'm not sure who's a Beth. Beth is so just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know a single person that's that nice.
I mean, Marmee is nicer. Marmee is so pure. She is incredible. The entire movie. Oh, yeah. It is alarming.
Yeah. But I do like the part where she's like, I'm always angry. I'm always angry. I'm not patient. Yeah. Nature. Like, all right. I see you.
She takes off her glasses, looks back at Joe. That's my secret, Joe. I'm always angry.
Exactly. Oh, man.
If the MCU ever reboots, cast Laura Dern as the Hulk. You heard it here first.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Yes.
Don't explain it either. She's like still called Bruce Banner. There's no explanation.
It's just Laura Dern.
Yeah, it's just Laura Dern.
Done.
Did you see the Laura Dern tribute song from the Independent Spirit Awards?
I think I missed that.
The Film Independent Spirit Awards are an award show that happens like right alongside the Oscars that are like a lot looser. They're fun. John Mulaney has hosted them a bunch.
Nice.
And they honor independent films. A lot of film people, like, film nerds, respect the Film Independent Spirit Awards more than the Oscars for valid reasons.
I get it.
But they did this whole thing where they were like, these were the gayest moments in film this year. As performed by this gay Los Angeles choir. So this choir comes out and they start singing and there's like a clip and it's like, oh, this thing and then this thing and then this thing. And then it gets to Laura Dern and like Laura Dern doing this in this movie. And then like Laura Dern doing this in this movie. And then they just like start singing Laura Dern over and over and over. And the camera's cutting to just like her losing her shit.
Oh, man.
It's fantastic.
That's great.
I might clip it in. I'm going to clip it in right here.
Good.
So people get to experience the beauty of this. Actually, wait, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send it to you right now.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
And you can watch it in this moment. And then I'm going to play the clip in the recording. So then people can hear your reaction.
Okay. All right.
This is the power of editing.
Terrence Malick taking 20 years off work. Game and love vacation.
Isn't it beautiful?
That was amazing. That was a gift. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
Oh my God.
Thank the Gay Men's Choir of Los Angeles.
Thank God. I'm gonna have to start watching the Independent Spirit Awards. This is
There
way
was
more fun.
There was also a part of the Film Independent Spirit Awards where a person came on stage to like put down one of the awards and carried their sandwich that they had been eating on stage with them.
Oh my God.
Like not a famous person, just like a person working on crew was like, oh, I need to put this up stage. And they're just like, I'm still eating the sandwich.
Okay.
The Film Independent Spirit Awards are perfect.
Oh my gosh. I
Also,
forgot it.
Adam Sandler won a Spirit Award for his work in Uncut Gems, and his speech at the awards is insane.
Oh man, I'll have to watch that too.
You will.
I
You
still
will.
have to watch Uncut Gems. That's another thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to it on this podcast.
Maybe.
Who can say?
Who can
Maybe.
say? We'll never know. Huh. Okay.
So we touched on this already, but like you like period pieces?
Yeah, I do.
What period pieces can you think of that like are ones you enjoy?
So you mentioned Atonement. I do like that one.
It's good.
It's good.
Saoirse Ronan's in that one.
She is. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Keira Knightley's the lead in that, right?
She is, and James McAvoy is in it.
McAvoy. That's him. God, what other period piece movies do I like? I haven't seen it all the way through, but I watched, I think, the alternate ending to Pride and Prejudice, and I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I need to watch this whole thing immediately.
Yeah, I've never seen Pride and Prejudice. I feel like I should because I like the Lizzie Bennet diaries. So ostensibly, Pride and Prejudice would be very up my alley.
Yeah, it would be.
And I like period pieces. So it's like merged Lizzie Bennet diaries with period pieces, which feels like a weird thing to say, seeing as the Lizzie Bennet diaries is just a modernization of a period piece. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Shout out. So I'm just going through.
What period pieces exist?
I that would probably be easier. No, I'm just going through the list of movies I've reblogged on
You've
my
watched?
Tumblr. Because that's usually where I find my period piece stuff. Because people love gifting that.
She's an artsy girl.
I'm an artsy girl. Oh,
Tell us about that
God.
Tumblr scene, Chloe.
No.
You a fan of Super Hulock?
Oh God, don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
I will. I absolutely will.
Oh God, no. That was a dark time in history.
But Chloe, what about TumblrCon?
Yeah. That also
DashCon.
happened
That
in
DashCon is
Illinois.
what it was called.
That happened in Illinois. That happened 45
I'm
minutes
so
away
sorry.
from me. I could have been there. Oh my God.
You could have experienced the ball pit.
If I was just a little more of a maniac, I would have been there.
Beautiful.
Horrifying to think about.
You could have been part of history.
I'm glad I wasn't.
Honestly, I kind of wish I was.
It's something.
Like on one hand,
man.
I don't like. I wouldn't want to like have taken the time to fly out there. But if I lived 45 minutes away, I think a day's drive be worth it. Just to walk in, see the ball pit, take a photo of the ball pit, be like, I was at DashCon.
That iconic photo of the ball pit. I could have taken that. Wow, maybe I would do it.
You could have, yeah.
Been there.
You could have been the internet's Chloe Naylor long before your General Grievous TikTok took off.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to be associated with DashCon. I would much rather be associated with General Grievous.
Yeah, you would have just been known as the Tumblr girl if you were able to capitalize on that fame.
Yeah,
no one wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Remember when we invested just like far too much time of our lives into Tumblr?
Used to?
Touche. But at least you have things going on in your life.
That's true.
Remember when Tumblr was like people's only thing? There was like, I Tumblr. That's what I do.
Yikes. It's your only personality trait. No, yeah. I still go on Tumblr all the time. It's just reblogging things.
I haven't looked at Tumblr in ages.
Don't. Well, you got out while you could.
I did, and I'm lucky for it.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool aesthetic stuff that I like on it still, so.
I get it.
Yep.
It had its value.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this movie's Did You Knows? Chloe.
Ooh.
This movie was put into development in 2013, but Greta Gerwig was not hired until 2016. The movie was also shot all around Massachusetts, including the Paris scenes. They never went to Paris. They just hung out in the old Mass.
Shout out.
Its premiere was at the Museum of Modern Art, which is such like, it feels like such a bougie place to do it. I realize there's lots of movie premieres at like actual theaters that have to be entirely rented out, which is probably bougier in reality. But having your movie premiere at the Museum of Modern Art feels bougie.
Just a bit. That's all right.
It feels such like an art hipster thing to do. And frankly, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it a lot.
Get it.
That's really all I had for tidbits. It's really all I got, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not too much to talk about that we haven't already touched on. The movie came out in 2019, on Christmas of 2019.
Mm.
A lot of Christmas movies last year. 1917 also came out on Christmas, and Spies in Disguise. Just strong competition there.
Very much so. I don't know how Little Women in 1917 stood up against that.
Frankly, it's an insurmountable challenge that they were faced with, and it's just a miracle they survived.
It really is.
I'm quite proud of them. It has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. It made $206 million on a $40 million budget, which is pretty good. Deadline calculates that after you factor in $72 for print or $72 million for print and advertising, as well as a couple other expenses, they made about $56 million in like net profit. That's always the curse of budget, because budget only accounts for the actual cost of production. So once you factor in marketing, the real budget is usually like over twice what the official budget is. Movies are expensive, man. Yeah.
Yikes.
It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress for Florence Pugh. Best Actress was for Saoirse Ronan, of course. Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Costume Design at the Oscars. It won Best Costume Design. It also received 5 BAFTA nominations. That's the British Academy of Film and Television Awards. And 2 Golden Globe nominations.
Sick.
Yeah. Chloe.
Yeah.
This brings us to, of course, games.
Woo. Exciting.
It's time for Nailed It with Chloe Naylor. Chloe, obviously there's no villain in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to make you rate a villain. We're changing it up. We're expanding the limits of what Nailed It with Chloe Naylor can be.
Ooh.
So instead, I'm going to ask you, Chloe, rate that pairing. I will name pairings in this movie, and you'll tell me how good of a pairing they are.
Okay.
We have fun here. Number 1, Chloe.
Yes.
Rate Joe and Lori. What do you like? What do you not like? How are they overall?
Okay. Well, first of all, I think all of these, I'm going to say that they're incredibly attractive for all these pairs.
That is true.
Everybody's attractive, so all these couples are going to be hot. Joe and Lori, great. They vibe off each other very well, but they also definitely would have killed each other. They're right about that.
They definitely would have killed each other.
They 100% would have. And I respect that.
They would have made it like 5 years and then had a massive blow up
100%.
and never would have spoken to each other again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Joe and Professor Bear.
You know, yes. That's great. Nice little French guy there. I love that for you, Joe. Good on you.
What I think is, I think Lori's kind of subservient to Joe. And that's not what Joe needs.
Yeah.
Because Lori will eventually get fed up with that. But Joe needs someone who pushes her. And Lori doesn't really push her. But the professor does.
He does.
He has the whole thing where he's like, hey, here's some Shakespeare books. Read it. Like, we can vibe intellectually. But he also has the things where he's like, hey, you're writing. It's not good.
No, he's like, you're a great writer, but you deserve to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't like that at first, but it's fine. That's what she needed to hear.
And he goes all the way to the house to see her. It's cute.
Yeah, it's nice. He's like, I'm going to California. I know it's like, all right.
Yeah. I know the movie fully plays up the false romance of that whole scene where she chases after him, and it's like, oh, like, this is fiction. This doesn't jive with the tone of the rest of the movie because it's a forced narrative. I get that. Still think they're a cute couple.
It's still cute, though. I'm still a fan.
It is very cute.
Yeah.
Amy and Laurie.
Love them.
They're so great.
They're great.
They are so great together. I appreciate this movie so much for the fact that it made Amy and Laurie actually seem like the right choice.
100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I am glad that it's true. It's like the first person you see. It's like, oh, okay, yes, that's who they have to end up with. And I appreciate the slow-mo with the, okay, yes, that is Amy's love interest. That's how she sees him. And it works out. And I like their scenes together.
Yeah, I also feel like they just like they work well. Even the brief moments we see of them after they're married, the little interactions just sell it so much. I'm like, this is a good team.
Yeah.
Like
They're good.
when they decide they're gonna chase after. Actually, before I get to that, one of the funniest things in this movie is when the professor arrives and Laurie walks in and he's like, "Who's this?" And then no one answers the question. And he's like, "No, like, who are you?" And people still don't answer the question. They keep asking other things. And he's like, "No, seriously, someone please tell me who this is." And I'm like, "You jealous bitch."
Oh yeah, 100%.
I love it. I love that there's still those little remnants of him being like, "Did Joe choose someone over me?"
Yeah,
It's great.
it is.
But I also love when they're deciding to chase after Professor Bear, and Amy's just like, "Laurie, get the wagon," and he's like, "I'm helping Joe March chase after a man. I didn't expect my life to end up this way, but I like it."
Yeah,
Like it's so cute. It's so cute to just see all their dynamics together, like this adult, like settled family, Laurie and Amy and Meg and Mr. Brooks and Joe and Professor Bear. It's just like, I love it. I love it so much.
I get it.
I'm obsessed with this movie.
I see why. It's very good.
It is very good. Next up, Meg and Mr. Brooks.
Nice vanilla couple. They're cute.
They're definitely having, like consistent missionary. Nothing interesting is happening there. But like
they're having
they got their
like
kids
money
and they're
issues,
happy.
but yeah, and she like feels bad.
Also,
they both feel bad. It's cute though.
Do you know how much that dress cost in today's money?
Oh God, how much?
$1,500.
Oh my God.
$50 back then was $1,500 now. And that was before the dress was actually made.
And he still wanted her to have
When he was
it.
saying, "Oh, that's how much a dress would reasonably cost," I guess. He was saying, "Oh, $1,500 is fine for a dress."
Oh my God.
I know.
Wow.
It really reframes that entire situation.
Yeah, it does. Oh my God.
Because as much as we know inflation exists, I feel like you hear that and you're like, oh, like they spent like, I don't know, $400 on a dress.
Yeah, it's like
No.
that doesn't translate in my head. I don't know numbers. You say 1,500. Like,
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
That also means that when Joe was paid $20 for her short story, that was about $600.
Damn, girl, get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. She's
Love
really
that.
making it. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my God, her hair
Oh, the
sold for
economy's falling apart.
$25. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There she goes.
Wow. All right. Money. Jeez.
Final pairing. Beth and the piano.
Oh, just the purest form of love.
Honestly.
It's adorable.
No one can be there for you the way that piano is there for Beth.
Exactly. Oh,
Mm-hmm. It's reliable. It's consistent. It's
mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It nurtures her talent.
Get you
The real OTP.
Exactly. Get you a man like the piano for
Mm-hmm.
Beth.
Mm-hmm. Chloe, it's time for executive action. What is one or two things you would change in this movie, if there is anything?
Oh gosh. I don't know. The only thing that I could possibly think of to change would be the timeline stuff, but I would only change maybe a few scenes, not the whole thing.
Mm.
Just maybe make some
Interesting.
scenes more linear than the others, but otherwise, not really. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah. What do you feel like needs to be more linear?
I don't know. I had an idea earlier and I completely lost that, so let's just go with
Because it's
I
still
wouldn't
fairly
change.
linear. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's two timelines, but each timeline is moving forward at this. Like it's not a movie where it's like, oh, we're jumping from this time to 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 this time. It's like, no, there's like
Yeah, no, it makes
timeline
sense.
A and there's timeline B, and they move forward.
Yeah. I feel like there was just like two scenes next to each other. I'm like, oh, there should be flip flop. And right now I'm completely forgetting which ones those were. So,
Okay.
but otherwise, I don't really,
These are like very minor things that aren't really criticisms. They're just, I guess, just to say something. In a magical world where this could be like a mini series, I would like to see a bit more of Mr. Brooks and Laurie's relationship, because I think that they have like an interesting dynamic, and it'd be cool just to see more of that and see like how Mr. Brooks get kind of pulled into this fold. And it's kind of cute where it's like, oh, like Meg is married to a friend of Laurie's and Amy is married to Laurie. Like it's just still this very tight knit little group there. I think that would be cute.
Yeah, it would be cute to see more of that.
I also might just establish their ages, just like have lines to establish ages in the past.
Yeah.
So that I know how young Amy's supposed to be, especially Amy.
Right. When she's acting like she's 10, but it's still Florence Pugh. Like, wait a minute. Yeah.
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 That definitely, like, my second time watching this movie was really the time that cemented it for me. My first time I was like, this is very good. I like this a lot. This is one of the best movies of the year. And then my second time I was like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I think that there are those kind of like hurdles you have to overcome when you aren't familiar with Little Women as a property. Such as, oh, Amy's supposed to be 12 in this part.
That did not occur to me until we were talking about it. I'm like, oh, yeah. I knew she was a child, but oh, okay.
Yeah, in my head, I was like, oh, like 15 or 16. Like, this is maybe 14. Like, no, she is a child.
Child, which makes her reaction to things more...
they make sense.
More sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you're kind of a dick, but also like, you're a youth.
Yeah.
Couple fun facts, by the way, that I forgot. Greta Gerwig did a really interesting thing when she was writing the script, where in plays, sometimes what they'll do when one character is supposed to talk over another character is put kind of like a slash line in the middle of the dialogue to indicate where the interruption starts. And then they write the other dialogue with like the slash at the beginning to be like, this is the dialogue that'll interrupt this. And I've never seen that in a script before, but she did that in this script. And like, it's just a really cool way of handling characters talking over each other, because there's so much of that in this movie. This movie has so much of that kind of like frenetic, everyone's talking at once. And I definitely watched it twice and was like, I don't know how she scripted this. I don't understand how she made this work, unless it was just like not scripted like this at all. But because she was directing it, she knew she could make it work in the shooting. But no, she knew how to make it very clearly like, you interrupt after this line. You interrupt after this line. Yeah. It's cool.
That's interesting. Oh, okay.
Screenwriting's fun.
Yeah.
Chloe, I have 2 trivia questions for you.
Oh, boy.
How many Little Women feature film adaptations have there been?
Oh, boy. Okay.
Be glad I said feature film adaptations, because it's a lot of miniseries.
Oh, God. I was going to say, I was like, I don't even know about the other ones. Let's go with... Including this one?
Yeah.
I don't know, 5.
You're very close. Ooh. It's from what I've seen, it seems like 6. But I have seen a couple things that reference 5 adaptations. So it's possible one wasn't a feature film and it just looked like it was on IMDb. But I'm pretty sure it's 6.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's 6. But you're very close.
Close enough.
We also just got a miniseries in 2017 with Maya Hawke as Jo. Maya Hawke, of course, of Stranger Things Season 3 fame.
Yeah.
And Catherine Newton as Amy. Catherine Newton, of course, we just referenced the girl from Big Little Lies and Detective Pikachu.
Huh.
Yeah. But also, here's the fun thing. Catherine Newton was also in Lady Bird. And you know what? That must feel bad.
Oh my God.
Imagine being in a movie with Greta Gerwig directing, and then Greta Gerwig makes a Little Women movie. And you, in 2017, when Lady Bird comes out as well, are in a Little Women miniseries where you play Amy. And then Greta Gerwig makes Little Women, and the actress who plays Amy in that movie gets an Oscar nomination for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great feeling, I'm sure.
It's fine. She was the iconic detective of Detective Pikachu.
True.
Not Detective Pikachu, of course, but like she's the reporter. Like she's the real detective. Let's be honest here.
I mean, yeah. She's in one of like the best video game movie adaptations we've gotten.
That is true.
You know?
That is so true. And such a weird one too.
Yeah, it's amazing how well it works.
Yeah. Chloe.
Yes.
An actress was originally cast to play Meg instead of Emma Watson, but she had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. Ironically, Emma Watson gave up a role to this actress a few years earlier. Who's the actress?
Oh, man. I'm going through a list in my head of actresses. Oh, God, who could it be? This is gonna kill me when you tell me. I just know
I know it will.
Oh, my God.
I can give you a clue when you want one, but it is a pretty strong clue. So, like,
I'll take the clue.
their names are very similar.
Emma Roberts.
Their names are more similar than that.
Oh my God, what other Emmas do I know? I hate that my brain is like thinking of my friend from high school who's also named Emma and her last name starts with a W. I'm like, that's not her. Oh my God. Emma. Hold on, I'm thinking of Emma. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I swear. Okay, how about okay, I don't know. We like talking about Spider-Man here. How about Emma Stone? That's my guess.
That is correct.
Oh my God, wait, really?
First of all, literally was humming La La Land as a clue.
Oh, that would not have helped me at all.
But yes, it was Emma Stone.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh my God.
Because their names are almost identical, because if you just took out the W-A in Watson and moved the S and T around and added an E, it's the same name.
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Put that much onto it. Sure. Okay. Oh my God, I got it right. Whoa.
Did you?
Sure.
I'm not sure I'm going to give you that one.
Okay.
But, do what makes you happy.
I will take it. You're singing La La Land.
Sure.
I honestly have no fucking clue what any songs from La La Land sound like.
Interesting.
I've seen it once. I don't remember it.
Emma Watson was supposed to be in La La Land as the lead, and she gave up that part to be in Beauty and the Beast, and Emma Stone took it. And then Emma Stone was supposed to be in this movie, but she had a scheduling conflict with The Favorite. I believe The Favorite's press tour was the specific conflict. So she had to drop out of this, and then Emma Watson took the role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's the cycle of Emmas.
Yeah.
Or the circle of Emmas. Cue the circle of life.
Yes.
I'm not going to sing it.
Okay, I was waiting for it.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that. No one needs that in their life. Chloe, what are your closing thoughts?
This is a great movie. I do wish I saw it earlier so I could contribute more to the Oscar conversation, but it's fine. I finally saw it.
I'm glad I could bring you into the light.
Thank you.
Yeah. How are you doing? What's up? Like, how are you? You seem tired.
I am tired. I don't know why.
Yeah, so am I.
It's just a weird
I
day,
feel like
guess.
have you been tired the past couple days?
Yes.
Yeah, so have I. I feel like I just got wiped out over the weekend. And I don't know by what.
Yeah, I don't know either. Nothing really happened.
Yeah, same.
I'm just,
If you're listening to this, tweet at us with hashtag that wannabe film class and tell us if you're exhausted this week. Maybe we can perform an official research study through the reach of our small independent podcast.
So maybe it's just
we're doing great things out here.
We're doing fantastic. Maybe it's just the quarantine finally getting to us. I don't know.
Maybe. I would say lack of movement, but I've been exercising, which should do something. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how health works.
I get being tired today because I had to get up somewhat early for work, and then it's been raining all day.
Same.
But I don't know. I should be way more hyped up, and usually I would be because this is my birthday month. I get fucking stoked during this time of year, and now I'm just bleh.
Bleh.
Bleh. Exactly.
So do you treat your birthday month as just like, what's up, bitches? I'm the boss now.
Exactly. Best month of the year. Yes.
I don't understand birthday months. Maybe it's because I'm born in December, so in my mind, the month belongs to Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's just always been foreign to me. I'm just I will carve out my little day in this Christmas season, and I will try and shelter it, and it'll probably suck. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I don't. Because all my siblings were born in January or February, so I have this month all to myself and my family.
Nice.
There's not really any major holidays, so it's like, birthday month.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I did get your present. I haven't opened it yet, though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome to open it if you want to. Like, you know what it is.
I know, but I also, I don't know.
If you want to wait until your birthday, you're also welcome to do that. I don't care.
I might just.
The world is your oyster.
Truly is. Ooh, I haven't had oysters in a while. Wow, I miss seafood and going out.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my god, this sucks.
I miss sushi. Because I've been getting food. I've been getting food out, but I'm trying to get food out that I can microwave when I get home. Because if there is any like bacteria on it, the microwave will kill it. Right. So I'm just like, okay, so I can only eat food that can be microwaved. So I can't eat raw food like sushi, and it hurts.
That sucks. It really does. And usually I get sushi when I'm in California because it's good there. We didn't get any.
That's true. We also didn't get Marufuku ramen, which is sad.
We didn't. And we didn't get Cheesecake Factory. Oh my god, there's so much we didn't do because the world started ending.
I know.
God, this sucks.
We really knew how to pick the weeks, didn't we?
If we just went a week earlier, it would have been fine.
Yeah, we'd have been fine.
But no.
We would have vibed.
We would have gotten to go clubbing with our friends. Would have been fine.
It's true.
But no, the world had to end.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah. Anyways.
Chloe, if people like this movie, what do you recommend they watch?
Go watch other period pieces. Go watch Pride and Prejudice and tell me how it is because I want to watch it. And then also watch Atonement.
Ringing endorsement from Chloe Naylor. Go watch this for me.
Go watch it for me. Because I've seen the ending and it makes me want to cry. I'm like, I love that. And then also watch Atonement because that is also very nice.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend. I don't know what I recommend. A first. Wow. A conundrum has fallen upon my lap. I don't know what movie I think does the things this movie does. Like, because I can recommend period pieces like watch Downton Abbey or like watch Emma. Emma's a good movie. I enjoy Emma, but I don't know. I feel like this movie also does so many things that are like unique to it that I don't know what movie really feels like it. In a weird way, I think About Time kind of has similarities. Like they're different for sure, but they do kind of have that like the feeling of the past idea running through them.
Well, seeing as it's our favorite movie month, just list some of the other favorite movies. See if people share the same taste,
Watch The Princess Bride.
There you go.
If you like this movie, watch The Princess Bride just because The Princess Bride's fucking good. Also watch Paddington 2, of course. And watch Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oh, you know what you should watch? Watch Casablanca. Romantic. Not a period piece technically, but it's old. So in essence it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch Casablanca. I'm going to recommend Casablanca. Casablanca is one of the best movies ever made, and people don't talk about it enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Chloe, what's one cool thing you've done or seen this week?
God.
You have no idea.
What's something new that I've done?
I'll kick it off while you're thinking.
Okay.
I watched that Netflix limited series Hollywood.
Okay.
From Ryan Murphy, creator of Glee. It's good. Its first few episodes are a little slow getting to like the meat of the story, but once it hits the meat of the story, it's pretty fun. Do you know anything about this show?
No.
Okay, it's set in the 1940s.
Okay.
It's about like Hollywood in the Gilded Age, and basically it's this alternate universe storyline where what if things happened and representation in Hollywood was kicked off earlier than it really was in the real world. And like dealing with kind of so part of it's about like people following their dream in Hollywood and like an actor who wants to make it big. But then it's also like one character is a black actress in that time, and she's kind of like stuck playing these very small, like The Help roles. Not the movie The Help, like just The Help in scenes. And then like Darren Criss is in it, and he's like, I'm the director, but I'm half Filipino, and if people know that I'm Asian because I pass as white, I might be more like dismissed. And it's kind of about this like movie project being brought together where like Darren Criss is the director and the writer's a black gay man, and Rock Hudson, the actor, is a character in this, and like it's this whole alternate reality, alternate history version of Hollywood. It's fun.
Interesting.
It's also prostitution.
Oh, okay. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's like it's good. I don't think it's amazing. It has a lot of flaws. It is overly optimistic sometimes to the point of like eye rolling. But overall, also Samara Weaving is in it, and I fucking love Samara Weaving.
Shout out. Okay.
And Rob Reiner is in it. One of the best directors of all time.
Very nice.
Have you thought of one cool thing you've done or seen?
Let's see. Cool Apex Legends trailer came out today. That's pretty cool.
You're like all you have is video games.
All I have is video games. Oh my god, wait. Clone Wars ended this weekend.
Yes, Clone Wars ended this week. You're right. Fuck, you're right. Oh, that was
oh my god.
Literally yesterday.
That was, oh my god, it was yesterday. Wow. Yeah, Clone Wars is a thing.
I mean, I know you and I both watched it like Sunday night, but still, technically speaking, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes.
May the 4th. Clone Wars ending was wild.
Oh
Not to spoil
my
things, of course.
God.
No spoilers, but
yeah, no.
I am emotionally crippled.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Mhm.
Me too.
Mhm.
It's great. I miss the
It's
show
fine.
already. I really like
Me
Clone
too.
Wars.
I need more Ahsoka Tano content in my life.
Yeah.
Also, I love Anakin and I love Obi-Wan and I love Ahsoka. Like, it's really wild to me that I don't think the prequels are very good movies. And yet because of Clone Wars, Obi-Wan and Anakin and Ahsoka and like Padme are some of my favorite characters in Star Wars. That's wild. And Darth Maul.
Listen, the prequel era, it's my favorite era of Star Wars for various reasons.
It's kind of my favorite era too.
It's really cool. There's cool stuff in there.
It is really cool. I think, here's my hot take.
Yeah.
I think the original trilogy is the least interesting era of Star Wars.
You're 100% right, dude. I can't stand anything set during the Empire era. It's so boring now.
Okay. I love the original trilogy.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, aside from Last Jedi being my favorite movie in Star Wars, the original trilogy movies are probably like 2, 3, 4. Force Awakens might beat 6. I don't know.
Okay.
No, Force Awakens doesn't beat 6. It's 2, 3, 4. In terms of like rankings. But I don't like, I like Darth Vader. I enjoy like the personal conflicts of these characters. I think the dynamic between Luke and Han and Leia is great. But in terms of like the actual era, it's very boring.
Yeah. It's
like, yeah, there's an empire. Palpatine's bad. Vader is here. Like, there's cool Vader stories to be had. I've read cool Vader stories, but I'm not super interested in like side stories in that era.
No.
I'm far more interested in the prequel era and
that's like
even kind of the sequel era.
Honestly? Yeah.
Like, what happens after the fall of the Empire is far more interesting to me than like what else is happening during the Empire.
During the Empire. Because it's just like, okay, yes, big evil Empire, there's a rebellion.
Yeah. And like, that's the movie, the movies started as simple, so it makes sense. They weren't made to be these like overly complex worlds because they're already giving us this overly complex universe, I guess is the best way to like create that dichotomy.
Right.
But it's just, it's the least interesting era of Star Wars.
We get so much stuff set during that, like Fallen Order, that was during the Empire. It's like,
yeah,
that's all we get now.
And I'm like, I get it.
I get it.
I'm like, I get it. The Jedi were almost killed, so like this is the Jedi on the run, and like I understand that. And I'm not saying there aren't interesting stories that come out of that. I'm interested to see the Obi-Wan series. Like,
true,
that could be cool.
Also because it's Ewan McGregor, and yeah,
but also because I feel like that's barely. It's not dependent on the era. Like, you could theoretically tell that story in the prequel era if you just said this Jedi is stranded on this planet. And our series will follow them being stranded on this desert Western style planet.
It could be here, but
it only needs to be set in the original trilogy era because it's about Obi-Wan.
Right.
And like, I love that. I'm excited for it to be about Obi-Wan, but I don't feel like it requires inherently in its setting the original trilogy era. It's
Right.
kind of tangential to the story that I assume will be told.
Mm-hmm.
These are my feelings.
I get it. I want to see more prequel era Clone Wars stuff.
Mhm.
There's some real cool stuff.
Like
there.
I've read some of the comic books about like the adventures of Luke, Leia, and Han in between 4 and 5. And like those are fun. Those are interesting. I'm not saying they're bad.
Yeah.
But again, it's like the only things I'm interested in the original trilogy era is with characters I know from that era. Whereas if you're like, hey, do you want this new story in the prequel era with these new characters? I'd be like, yeah, maybe. Sure.
Yeah.
Throw it at me.
I'll take it. Either
Those
are
are so
hot takes.
fucking cool.
They're really cool. It's a shame that the movies are not great.
Very bad.
Very bad.
The problem is that George Lucas has good ideas. He just has terrible execution.
Just cannot execute because there's some really cool shit in there. It's just not.
The overarching story of the prequels is good.
Yeah.
The characters are theoretically good.
Mm-hmm.
Except Count Dooku. Count Dooku is mediocre.
Yeah, he's okay. I'm like lukewarm on him. It's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have fucking Darth Maul, and we have General Grievous, and we have Anakin, and like Palpatine's interesting and fun, and like Padme's cool.
Yeah.
We could have had it all.
I don't know. The politics of the Republic is so, I don't know.
Weird
and cool.
How is Padme queen?
She's queen, and then she steps down and becomes a senator because that's how things work.
But she was elected. She was elected queen at 14.
Doesn't make sense.
If not younger. I'm so confused.
Don't get it. I don't understand.
It's like George Lucas was like, I want a young queen, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, that like sure, you know, like there were young monarchs, and he's like, no, not a monarch. She's elected, and they're like, what?
You know what a queen is?
He's like, yeah, I want the aesthetic of monarchy, of royalty, but I want it to be an elected official, and I want them to be young enough that they can marry Anakin Skywalker eventually. Imagine if we just met her as a queen and Anakin was older. Like, imagine if she was like 23 and we first meet Anakin when he's already the Padawan of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Huh.
And he's like 18.
If only.
Yeah.
Be better than 9 and a 14-year-old, which she doesn't look 14 there.
No, she does not.
So it just,
which, to be fair, is not her fault.
No, it's not her fault.
Really.
But it's just a weird.
It throws you off. It throws you off.
Yeah.
It's because Natalie Portman has not aged.
No, she hasn't.
Ever.
She still looks the same.
Like, since Star Wars, she's just kind of looked the same.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Amazing. I'm going to go watch
Chloe,
Star Wars now.
This week was all about one of my favorite movies of all time, Little Women. Next week is about your other favorite movie of all time. What movie are we talking about?
We're going to talk about Prisoners, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I also love that essentially from this movie, Little Women, on, it's going to be me introducing you to movies that you haven't seen that are my favorite, and you introducing movies to me that I haven't seen that are your favorite.
Oh, yes.
Hell
Got
yeah.
Exciting.
We live for that.
We really do.
Chloe, if people have enjoyed this podcast episode, don't know why, you and I were both mentally dead. But if they did,
we were
where can they
completely
find
checked
us?
out.
Yep.
You can find me everywhere at Echo Clo. That's on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, anything. Echo Clo everywhere.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
People can find me at Mr_BentoBox on Twitter, at Mr. BentoBox everywhere else, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok. You can also support That Nerdy Site by going to thatnerdysite.com, where you can find our other podcasts, not the ones that Chloe and I are on, but podcasts that exist with other people. And you can find the articles that are written. You can also go to patreon.com/thatnerdysite and throw some money at the website if you want to keep these internets running, these servers operational, these lights on. That's the metaphor that people usually use. I eventually got there. If you like this podcast, you can rate and review us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on whichever platform you prefer. Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, obviously. And that has been it for this very exhausted quarantine episode of one of the best movies ever made. I wish I had the energy to properly convey how good Little Women was, but I'm just dead today. And I am sorry to myself, to Greta Gerwig, to the internet gods, Little Women is a masterpiece. I don't understand how Greta Gerwig wrote this, how she directed this. Everything about it is too good. I am gobsmacked. Anyway.
Yeah.
Chloe, I will see you next week.
See ya.